Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 7, Lesson 2. We're doing Solve and Write Addition Equations. We're actually just going to jump right into the real-world link. This is on the second hole of miniature golf. It took Anne 3 putts to sink the golf ball. Her score is now 5. She represents the situation with cups and counters. So on the second hole, we know she got 3 putts. So that's going to be the 3 here. That's the second hole. So in total, her score is 5. So how many did she make in the first hole? So that is our unknown number. So our cup in this case is going to represent x. So we're going to write the addition equation. We have the first hole, which we don't know what it is, going to be x, plus 3 putts in the second hole. And she has a total of 5 points. So how to solve the equation? We can either do mentally or inverse operations. If I do mentally, that means x equals 2 because 2 plus 3 equals 5. If I do inverse operations, that means I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. And then I'm left with x equals 2. And we'll go more in detail with inverse operations right now. It's to solve an equation by subtracting. In Lesson 1, you mentally solved equations. Another way is to use inverse operations which undo each other. For example, to solve an addition equation, use subtraction. So here's example 1. So the first method is by using models. So x plus 3. So this represents the cup is x plus 3 counters. And that's going to equal 8. So if I remove 3 counters from each side, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to get left over with x equals 5. The other way is to use symbols. So we have 8 equals x plus 3. If we use inverse operations, that means we're going to use the opposite operation. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That way I get my x by itself on one side. So 3 minus 3, those are going to cancel. So I'm left with x equals 8 minus 3 equals 5. So go ahead and try A, B, and C. So for A, B, and C, we have A, C equals 3, B, x equals 1, and C, y equals 9 and 25 hundredths. So next, we're going to learn the subtraction property of equality. If you subtract the same number from each side of an equation, the 2 sides will remain equal. So if we have 5 equals 5, if I subtract the same thing on both sides, 2 equals 2. My equation remains equal. Same with here. So if I need to get my variable by itself, so x plus 2, in order to get the variable by itself on one side, I need to get rid of the plus 2. So I subtract 2 on each side, x equals 1. So example 2. Ruben and Tariq have 245.5 downloaded minutes of music. If Ruben has 132 minutes, how many belong to Tariq? Write and solve an addition equation to find out how many minutes belong to Tariq. So there's 2 ways we can do, how we're going to do this is Ruben and Tariq have, so in total, we know they have 245.5 minutes. We know Ruben has 132 minutes, and we have to add Tariq's. So I'm going to have 132 plus Tariq's, or T, equals 245.5. And the way I could solve this is I'm going to use inverse operations. I'm going to get T alone, so I'm going to deduct 132 from each side. So Tariq is going to have 113 and a half minutes of music. Go ahead and try D. So for D, now Ruben has 147 and a half minutes. So we changed Ruben's minutes to 147 and a half. So now if that is true, Tariq now has 98 minutes of music. So go ahead and try it. Let's do example 3. It says a male gorilla weighs 379 pounds on average. This is 181 pounds more than the weight of an average female gorilla. Write and solve an addition equation to find the weight of an average female gorilla. So we know that a male gorilla is 181 pounds more. So if we add that to the weight of the female, we should get the average weight of a male. So we have 181 plus W equals 379, so we're going to deduct 181 from each side. And the weight of the female is going to be 198 pounds. But that's the end of the video, so thank you for watching.